On the evening of March 4, 1969, the British government operated under the assumption that it had successfully decapitated the most violent organized crime syndicate in London. Following an exhaustive, multi-year investigation spearheaded by Detective Chief Superintendent Leonard Nipper Red, Ronald and Reginald Kray were convicted of murder at the Old Bailey. The twins were sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum recommendation of 30 years, a then-record sentence designed to surgically excise them from the criminal ecosystem. The judicial theory of containment assumes that maximum security isolation neutralizes a target's operational capacity. This assumption proved to be a catastrophic architectural and psychological miscalculation. By 1979, Ronald Kray, certified legally insane and suffering from severe paranoid schizophrenia, was transferred from the conventional penal system to Broadmoor High-Security Psychiatric Hospital in Crowthorne, Berkshire. The state anticipated his rapid cognitive decay in a heavily medicated environment. Instead, operating within the 53-acre secure perimeter of a Victorian asylum designed by the Corps of Royal Engineers, Ronnie Kray systematically reverse-engineered the hospital's security blind spots. He did not lose his empire. He digitized it. Using smuggled reel-to-reel tape recorders and portable cassette machines, Kray weaponized a hidden frequency. He transmitted verbal instructions, coded extortion threats, and international corporate protection contracts directly from his psychiatric cell. This was not the raving of a heavily medicated patient. This was the Asylum Frequency, a shadow network run directly under the nose of the British government. To comprehend the scale of Kray's subversion, one must first analyze the containment environment. Originally designated the Broadmoor Criminal Lunatic Asylum, the facility was completed in 1863 to the exact specifications of Sir Joshua Jebb. By the time Ronald Kray arrived, the hospital was an archaic labyrinth of overcrowded wards, structural decay, and complex systemic vulnerabilities that an apex predator could effortlessly map and exploit. Kray's clinical baseline was deliberately suppressed by the state. Psychiatric protocols at Broadmoor dictated massive, debilitating doses of the antipsychotic phenothiazine chlorpromazine, commercially synthesized and administered as Largactil. The pharmacological objective was profound sedation, yet Kray adapted his neurochemistry to the chemical restraints. Operating under the guise of an over-medicated, docile patient, he systematically identified the institutional vulnerabilities of the hospital's visitor and contraband protocols. While physical mail and telephone communications were heavily monitored, intercepted, and logged by the state, the magnetic cassette tape occupied a unique technological blind spot. To the untrained ward staff, audio cassettes, smuggled in with allowed personal effects, appeared entirely innocuous. Trusted external operatives, such as Violet Kray's former hairdresser Maureen Flanagan, were granted unprecedented access, delivering bespoke tailored suits, bed linens, and classical opera records to Kray's ward. Embedded within this stream of permissible luxury goods was the recording technology that would serve as the backbone of his new syndicate. By 1989, author Robin McGibbon was granted access to record extensive conversational tapes with Ronnie inside Broadmoor, officially categorized as biographical interviews. These tapes presented the heavily curated image of a nostalgic, neutralized gangster. However, forensic analysis of the firm's operational timeline suggests these highly publicized recordings served a brilliant dual purpose. They normalized the presence of audio recording equipment in Kray's vicinity, providing a legitimate operational cover for a highly illegal shadow communication network that was operating concurrently. To understand the lethality of the Asylum Frequency, one must analyze the logistics of its deployment. A tape recorded inside a psychiatric facility cannot execute a threat on its own. It requires a reliable exfiltration vector and a sophisticated distribution network. Kray exploited the high-security system's reliance on predictable routine. Contraband supply routes were meticulously maintained through compromised visitors, legally protected counsel, and the potential manipulation of low-level healthcare assistance. Once a standard C60 or D90 cassette tape left the Berkshire facility, it was transported directly to the remnants of the firm's Bethnal Green network, effectively bypassing all traditional forms of penal surveillance. These recordings were weaponized audio. While his twin brother Reginald served his sentence in conventional facilities like Maidstone and Wayland Prison, Ronnie utilized his tapes to dictate the parameters of Kray Enterprises. This shadow corporation did not merely survive, it expanded. The syndicate continued to run international extortion and protection rackets from a decentralized position. The most striking evidence of this network's reach was its elite clientele. The firm, directed from a Victorian asylum by a man clinically certified as a paranoid schizophrenic, actively managed security and protection contracts for Hollywood elites, including Frank Sinatra, navigating international corporate logistics right under the noses of the Ministry of Justice. The audio format was psychologically devastating to rival factions. Hearing the slow, slurred, chlorpromazine-heavy voice of Ronald Kray, the man who publicly executed George Cornell in the Blind Beggar pub on March 9, 1966, emanating from a portable tape player in a London basement, carried an implicit, terrifying promise. The tape was physical proof that physical containment had failed. The walls of Broadmoor were entirely porous to Kray's influence. The environment in which these tapes were recorded requires precise clinical contextualization to fully grasp the surreal nature of the operation. Broadmoor was not a quiet sanatorium. Since 1952, following the escape of child murderer John Straffen, the hospital utilized a deafening two-tone air raid siren system, tested every Monday at 10 a.m., designed to alert the surrounding towns of Sandhurst and Wokingham of a perimeter breach. Internally, the auditory landscape was chaotic and violently unstable. Fellow inmates during Kray's tenure included extreme risk offenders. Charles Bronson, who was transferred to Broadmoor in December 1978 and reunited with Kray, later documented the horrific reality of the wards. Bronson described inmates using their heads as battering rams against the masonry until they fell unconscious, stabbing themselves with pens, and in extreme cases of self-mutilation, blinding themselves or tearing out their own anatomy. It was within this exact acoustic chamber of severe human degradation that Ronald Kray sat. Dressed in immaculate, custom-tailored suits, operating in a reality entirely divorced from the surrounding psychosis, he depressed the record button on a smuggled machine. He had successfully isolated his mind from the immediate clinical horror, projecting his absolute authority outwards across the magnetic tape. On March 17, 1995, at the age of 61, the broadcast finally ended. Ronald Kray suffered a fatal heart attack after being transported to a specialist unit at Wexham Park Hospital in Slough. The physical body, having endured decades of smoking over 100 cigarettes a day combined with heavy psychotropic medication, finally succumbed. But the analog artifacts remained. The secret Broadmoor tapes fundamentally redefine our understanding of institutional security and criminal psychology. The state built a fortress of stone and chemistry to bury a man's mind, completely failing to realize that by doing so, they provided him with the ultimate impenetrable boardroom. They thought they had silenced the firm, but the Asylum Frequency never truly stopped broadcasting. Until next time, keep your eyes open. You're watching the Anomaly Index.